Good evening, Region 10, and welcome to Live News. Whether you're joining us or catching up with the replay, you are welcome. Tonight, I'm flying solo at the anchor desk, but do not worry, we have a powerful episode lined up for you. Before we go any further, though, let us wake up the chat. Tell me, where are you watching from tonight? Drop your district number and city into the comments. And I'd like to give a few shout outs throughout the episode as we go along. So as you see there, if you are live with us now, please feel free to give a shout out to where you are. I'll personally let you know that I'm in Vienna. So while being Australian, I am a Vienna Toastmasters 551 club member, which is part of District 109. And we are a massive district. Elizabeth Jordan, without fail, thank you so much. I think you have watched every episode and you get a gold star. District 71, speak it up. Serjan, good evening from snowy Istanbul in District 109 as well. That's fantastic. I recognize you there, Serjan, with your small. So I look forward to when you're back in the anchor desk with us tonight, or not tonight, but on another night as well. Olga from Germany, fantastic. I can always rely on Olga, one of our top team members here at Region 10 Live News. So from Germany, Erlangen, if I'm correct there, Olga, Erlangen Toastmasters, which is wonderful. So please keep the comments coming. We have a lot of things happening tonight, including the news, of course, which we'll get into in a moment. But where we can, we'd love to really shout out and give you a moment to shine on our live news channel. So let us now think about what is coming up across Region 10. We start our journey in District 107 on Monday, January the 12th at 8 p.m. CET. The district trio is hosting an informal members forum to share news and answer your questions. One of our core goals here at Live News is to connect our districts. And this is a golden opportunity for anyone in our region to get to know the leaders in District 107 and to see how they are driving growth. Moving to Thursday, January 15th at 6:30 p.m. CET, District 109 presents Peers to Peers, a community session. Their guest is the 2003-2004 International President Ted Corcoran. He will be discussing how to lead through purpose rather than pressure, which is a vital lesson for every leader watching tonight. Then on Sunday, January 18th at 9 a.m. CET, District 110 is hosting their TM Cafe. This session features an interview with the world champion finalist, providing a fantastic look at high-level competition. Finally, on January 25th at 8 p.m. CET, District 91 presents the Contest Collective. This is a powerhouse panel featuring judges, chairs, and champions, including 2024 world champion Luisa Montalvo. If you're preparing for contest season, this is a must-watch. Now, I want to speak directly to our vice presidents of membership across all 8 districts of Region 10. We are launching a brand new series today because we want to help you strengthen those vital friendship ties within your clubs. To kick things off, we are featuring a brilliant idea from Istanbul Toastmasters, who recently held a high-energy karaoke Christmas party. This is just the first of many examples that we're collecting across our vibrant region to inspire our membership, strategies, and club engagement. We want to see you with your success stories too, so please keep sharing them as we build this resource together. So let's have a look at the video.
Luba, hi.
Hi, Alex.
What's happening? What is this party?
It's a karaoke Christmas event hosted by Istanbul Toastmasters.
All right, awesome. You're going to sing for us?
I will. My favorite song actually is Dudu, so I'm gonna sing it tonight.
So the new year is coming. Can you describe your expectations of 2026 in 3 words?
Exciting, purpose-driven,
Those are 2 words, but okay, I'll forgive it.
and full of love.
It's some extra words here, but it was wonderful. Thank you so much, Luba.
I'm great. great. I'm great. It's an amazing night here today. What's up?
Well, that's good. What's happening? Where are we?
We are in Roxy Club right now, a fun karaoke place. We're having so much fun.
Are you going to sing for us?
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. And who are all these people?
These are all Toastmasters, amazing, lovely Toastmasters people, and we're gonna have so much fun together tonight.
Hi, Tessa.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Nervous?
Nervous, huh? Why nervous? Where are we? What's happening?
It's my first time here at Toastmasters. I came with my father, and today is the karaoke night.
Are you going to sing for us?
No.
No.
We'll support everyone who does.
Take you dancing. Take you dancing. Let's welcome Hamza.
Hey. Hey.
She just wants to be beautiful as she goes, and not as she knows.
Hello everyone, for the Region 10 Live News, I'm right now in the karaoke night in Istanbul, and I would like to make an interview with Alex because we saw several Instagram stories and they are all very fun and very creative. How did you make them? How did you find the ideas, Alex?
I don't know, just sit down, relax and let it flow. It just happened naturally.
Yeah, you have a natural talent, and I heard that you asked people what are their wishes or expectations for 2026, and what are your 3 expectations for next year?
Flow, connection, joy.
Amazing. I would like to say mine as well. Always love, health, and new beginnings. Have a great night, Istanbul.
Have fun, everybody.
Wonderful there. And special thanks to our Istanbul Toastmasters President Lyubia Levchuk and Sergeant-at-Arms Alik Kiryakov for the inspiring interviews and the incredibly creative Instagram content. The cameraman was Doruk Obrey, VP PR of Istanbul Toastmasters. And of course, you saw our very own Serjan there with a small guest interview as well. And it really was a pleasure to see all of your ideas, stories, and such great energy from such a karaoke night. So I'm sure many clubs across Region 10 could follow suit. So we're looking for more moments like this. And a quick shout out to those who have just joined us. Meltem in Turkey, Adaletto 88 from Sweden, and we had Victoria, if I saw before, from Essen in Germany. Fantastic to have you with us live on the show tonight. Now, I'd like us to shift gears to our main topic for tonight. How do you move from speaking at your club to getting paid for your expertise? Our guest interviewer tonight is Armin Hierstetter. Armin is a German entrepreneur and founder of Badalgo, which is a leading online casting platform for voiceover talents. Within Toastmasters, he is a seasoned member of the Munich Prostmasters and a multiple competition winner. Armin, welcome to the live news stage.
Hello to everybody of you, and thank you for the very warm welcome, David. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you, and thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So, Armin, you are going to be speaking with a true master, the 2022 World Champion of Public Speaking, Cyril Junior Dim. Cyril is now globally sought after as a communication expert who works with high performers to turn communication into career leverage. So, Cyril, welcome to Region 10 Live News.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to meet you kind of face to face. And as the 2022 World Champion of Public Speaking, of course, you need a little introduction. All the people out there will know you, but maybe you can give us still a little background, like how it all started and how it led up to your success story. If you give us a little bit of a background of yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me, and hello to all the viewers across the globe. Indeed, my journey into public speaking didn't much start on a big stage. It started with a deep curiosity that came because of my family, of course, and the background that I grew up in, a background that emphasized sports, arts, and culture. But in that mix, I found a genuine curiosity about people and especially about communication. I realized very early on in my career that it wasn't enough to just be skilled. Because if I'm this skilled, but I can only communicate this much about it, then unfortunately, everybody views me as this skilled. And I really understood and appreciated then the need to branch out and refine my skills as a communicator. And that made me study communication a bit more intentionally, if you will. Over time, I learned how to connect what I can do, what I know, the logic of it, to emotion, to structure, and especially to deliver it with authenticity. The World Championship, as you might well know, wasn't an overnight success. It was the culmination of many years of honing my craft, learning from feedback, applying that feedback, and really staying obsessed with growth. And as at my core, I'd say my success comes from that simple belief that if you can communicate well, you don't just speak, you connect.
So when did you start then going to Toastmaster sessions, and how did that come about?
Now, that's an interesting one. I have associated with Toastmasters for some 15 years. Of those 15, I've been a member for going on 8 years now. I joined Toastmasters in September of 2018.
Okay. So 8 years Toastmaster. I've been there for like close to 16 years. So I should have been already 2 times world champion. Obviously, I do something wrong here. Now, we all know that Toastmaster is a very, very supportive environment to hone one's skills in public speaking. So it's like a sandbox, if you would call it like that, with training wheels on when you do your first speeches. But we also know that the world outside of Toastmasters is different. So you're the man that does public speaking professionally. How would you say does the Toastmaster world compare to the real world out there?
Now, that's a fair observation, and I certainly agree with you. Toastmasters is a sandbox. You can deliberately work on very specific skills and improve. It's self-paced, it's a supportive environment, and you can really go one step at a time to kind of climb each rung of the ladder. The real world, on the other hand, I have found to be a little less forgiving and a little more value driven. Out there, people aren't going to give you a time signal. They're not going to give you feedback written out on a ballot. They're going to walk into the room with a certain expectation that you, as a person in front of us, are in a position to deliver value by virtue of your experience and by virtue of your training as a communicator. And of course, I had to bridge that gap. And how I did it was to deliberately start sampling non-Toastmasters audiences as a part of my preparation. I quickly understood that, for example, if I wanted to be a true international speaker, then my audiences would need to be international and inter-organizational, if you want to, in Toastmasters and outside. An interesting thing I'd do is I'd step into conferences, comedy clubs, I'd host events, and all those would be non-Toastmasters audiences who came with a different lens, if you will. And that quickly allowed me to become familiar with what the burden of performance would be out there in the real world. So you might say that Toastmasters helped me to build the engine, but going out into the real world and sampling non-Toastmasters audiences really taught me how to drive and gave me that confidence to transfer my craft out of the club and into the market.
I really like this approach of like dealing early with non-Toastmaster audiences, and I think this is definitely one for the book. So the audience out there, this is one to remember, because the training with non-Toastmaster audiences, I think, learns a lot. So what have you found what was the biggest challenge doing that? To get the foot in the game of going to be a professional public speaker, but also the biggest challenges that you faced immediately, like going from Toastmaster audience to non-Toastmaster audiences.
All right, now that's a good one. You know, the biggest challenge for me would have been to establish credibility or get opportunities before I had credibility. You know, early on, I had the skills. I knew I had the skills. The people that were working with me knew I had the skills, but there was no social proof. There's nobody that had worked with me before. So convincing them to give me their time, to lend me their ears, I'd say that was a bit of a challenge. I had to create my own platform. I had to confront the market, host events, speak for free sometimes, or accept offers that may not have been as glamorous as I had imagined. Of course, being a participant in the international speech contest gave me massive exposure because there were people from all over the world sitting in, and there were people from all over the world watching online. And that immediately gave me some credibility beyond the contest. Another major challenge would have been translating good speaking into useful speaking. You see, many times the contest rewards entertainment value because that signals connection with your audience. Out there, something that's entertaining, that's fun, may not be as valuable to the audience because the practical applications are not clear. And so what excites me as this is a really funny speech, he's got all the quips, I do all the movements, the rehearsal is swift and clean. Out there in industry, they're like, so what? I'm here trying to build an organization. I'm here trying to build a name. I'm here trying to climb the corporate ladder. Yes, you're entertaining, but so what? Translating entertaining speaking into useful speaking, that was really a challenge. And when you start to meet event organizers, 9 times out of 10, they're going to pick the proven expert who delivers value over the entertaining speaker, such that many of those proven experts may not even be entertaining speakers, but they still get booked. And finally, of course, there was the internal challenge, managing doubt, starting to see the value that I had to give, not underselling myself, and starting to feel comfortable in the room. Those are some of the challenges I encountered on the way.
You heard it from the man. Very, very nice insights in there, and hopefully you in the audience make the most out of it. So on the way, facing the challenges, what do you think has been the most beneficial resource that helped you getting better at what you do and facing all those challenges that you had to face?
All right. Now, I wish I could give you a single book or sell you a course for $9.99 where you go through it A to Z and you got everything you need.
Cyril, that was what we really were expecting here.
Well, I'm going to disappoint you as usual. The real resources for me were intangible. I'd say real audiences were massive accelerators because, look, you've got to get your hands dirty and you've got to fail. But it's not failing, really. It's failing forward. I fell forward and that became my growth. So sampling real audiences, diverse audiences, and imprinting it on my mind that different audiences have different palettes, different temperaments, and different pain points. That was really useful. And I was so fortunate to get the opportunity to try my craft across all but one continent, and real audiences were an indispensable resource. As part of my training now, when I work with clients, one thing I will immediately do is challenge them to try and get the attention of somebody who doesn't owe them anything. Go into a comedy club and try out your story. Those people are as ready to clap for you as they are to boo you. And that exposure to a real audience where the stakes are real and high, it transformed me as a speaker. Of course, I can't discount mentors and peers who supported me along the way. I had the great pleasure of working with Naomi Isaacs, based out in Germany. She's one of the most interesting people you will ever speak to. Just have a conversation with her. She helped me grow into the world I wanted to step into, and she really helped me think very intentionally about what was ahead. I think to friends who supported me along the way, I take a moment right now to acknowledge my wife, who's been more than just a best friend. Because here's the thing, once you're done riding the wave of a championship and the honeymoon of it all is done, then comes the real work. And there have been several days when just my creative bone didn't want to work, where I was tired, where I couldn't get out of bed, where I couldn't think to sit in front of a camera and record. And many times my wife would say, look, you don't have it today. You don't. I have some ideas. Whenever you're ready, let's talk. And I can think of many such people who fulfilled those roles, members of my club who have supported me through and through. You want to go far, you take people with you. And this thing of ours, speaking professionally, is no small feat. You will need people. People who will refer you on. I've had many gigs where they've heard from me, heard about me from other speakers. So people, Finally, and I really want to mention this, I have not forsaken the process of preparing. For me, it's a ritual. It is done the same every single time. Every single time. I print out the script if there is a script.
Yeah.
I will rehearse it as though I'm giving my first speech ever. For me, those preparatory bits have signaled consistency. And there is no growth, there is no progress without consistency. So for me, the process I use now is very much the same process I would have used in 2016 when I didn't know what I didn't know. And those three resources, real audiences, people, adhering to the process, it's really helped my career.
That's a wonderful triad you have there, like with going out different audiences, and then you have the great people that mentored you. Everybody that knows who knows Naomi knows what a wonderful, lovely lady she is. So really great to hear. But
shout out to Naomi, eh?
yeah, exactly. Thank you. So on the other hand, you lived through so many things. Is there something, because we were talking about jokingly about the €9.99 book that tells you everything. Is there something, in your opinion, that has been the most overrated recommendation or the most overrated technique everybody is jabbering about, where you tried it and say, oh, nah, that doesn't really work? So is there something where you would say, shy away from that because it probably will not help you?
Oh,
Anything
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be harsh, but the doctor's knife cannot help you if it doesn't cut you. Many times we fall into the trap of learning skills in isolation, where we don't see the bigger picture. And if you don't see the bigger picture, you don't know what you're shooting for. We learn, just walk on the stage or throw your voice this way and that. And we learn that skill in isolation. And unfortunately, that distracts us from the real objective of speaking, and that is communicating value and connecting with the person on the other end. In coaching, I have had the faith in the people that I work with, that if I expose them progressively to what's most important, these other things will come along, because you can't fake genuine feeling. If I'm passionate about something, there's no faking it. There's no training me to be passionate. I instinctively know. What I do need to know when it comes to learning these skills is pruning off those habits that might be distracting. But I've never in my coaching thought it necessary to sit down and zoom in and say, look, your eyebrow is too far up, or you're not smiling wide enough, and it's really not helping you. I think the coaches who are doing that might be, giving a slight disservice to the people they're working with. The most important area to focus on is the value. Are you communicating it correctly? Are you communicating it understandably? If your heart is there, everything around will come along. And this is something we've tried to do a lot in coaching. Another thing that I fell into, was certainly a trap that I fell into, is thinking that confidence comes before competence. I meet many people who want to go pro as speakers, and I say, well, what do you want to speak about? And that becomes a big comma, because they have to stop and say, well, but here's the thing. With competence, speaking and speaking opportunities are an inevitable consequence of that. The first thing we need to develop is the competence. And I really try to impress it upon the people that I work with, that if we are not clear on the value we give, then no amount of confidence can mask that gap, can mask the void in our value propositions. So there's that.
With the competence.
Absolutely. Yes.
Do you mean with competence, like the competence as a public speaker, and or the competence in the field you're talking about?
I mean both, actually. I mean both, because in the world of professional speaking, you quickly meet people that are speaking on various subject matters, and in each of those niche areas, they need to be competent, they need to be proven, they need to be tested, they need to have use cases, stories they can tell. So either way, it's the competence that comes first. Competence as a professional, then competence as a speaker. And it is the competence that gives you confidence. So whichever way you spin it.
There you go. Wonderful. My last question, and I think we need to make it nice and short, so we still have some room there for the audience questions. Hope if there.
Certainly.
I say, we are back. So can you still hear me?
There we go. Yes, I can hear you.
So if you had, hang on. That question was in too short. Maybe our guys. Okay. There's a question I don't want to pronounce the name correctly. Last name is Sharma. Oh, please forgive me. I don't want to butcher your first name. At the world champion level, what separates the top 1% from everybody else?
Ooh, that's an important question, and I'll answer it immediately. It's the life's message. It's the life's the speech itself. I think of my world championship speech is one of the most imperfect speeches I've ever given. I cringe when I watch the speech. I love it. It's important to me, but I cringe. Why does the speech work though? It's the message behind it. There are people who've got speech impediments, who are not the most polished speakers, but whose message drives them so much. That's what people gravitate towards. And so we come back to that competence before confidence. What are you competent in speaking about? If you know that, you can be confident when you speak about it. So that's it, the life's message.
Okay. Before I come to Olga's question, I put my question at the very end then. So Olga asks, how do you know that the speech you're going to give is a useful speech?
All right. I have learned this from Aaron Beverly. He was my coach when I was pushing towards the World Championship for 2 years, and he calls it the detox of the speech. He says you should be able to answer this question as simply as possible. After they listen to my speech, what are they supposed to do, think, know, or say? Detox, DTKS. What are they supposed to do, think, know, or say? If you can't answer that question in one sentence or less, probably the practical value is not clear.
I hope you guys out there, you wrote that down. Tomorrow is the questionnaire I'm going to send to you. I want to know that all from you. Okay. Any more questions? If not, I have a very last question for you, Cyril. And by the way, I think this wonderful interview is so great to have you here. So
thank you.
Imagine you had to start from scratch all over again. What is the one thing you would do differently today?
I would start. I waited for so much external validation before I believed I had it in me. And I grew up in an environment where you're a doctor, a lawyer, a failure. To tell people I want to be paid to speak, they'd be like, what, as a news anchor? And so I stopped. I looked for a mainstream conventional job. I wasn't the worst at it, but I would never be the best. And I'm not saying that I'm the best as a speaker, but I certainly see myself growing every day now that I've committed to something I actually love. The biggest pain has been watching people who have the confidence that I lacked starting their careers and going on to amass millions of people served across the world. Right now, there's the 1 billion conference being held in the Middle East. It burns me to my heart that I'm not invited. And I know why I'm not invited, because I'm not there yet. And I'm not there yet because I didn't start back then. And I didn't start back then because I doubted myself. I needed people to tell me I was good enough. I needed to win a trophy before I started. What would I do back then? I would start. I would make the worst speeches, record a few, post a few. I would start. Had I started earlier, I think I'd be further in my career.
Awesome. I can tell you, I think, Cyril, you're good enough. And so are you. So are you in the audience. And very last question from the audience before we close it, wrap it down. For someone watching live right now who is ready to send their first invoice, what is the one piece of marketing material they absolutely must have? For someone watching live right now who is ready to send their first invoice, what is the one piece of marketing material they absolutely must have?
All right. I am going to keep it short because I'm thinking of so many. Goodness me. Your mailing list. Have a good mailing list. Because that's the group of people you sell to first. Of course, I could say a good solid offer with a value proposition. I imagine you have that. But I remember speaking to Mike Carr. As soon as it happened for me, the World Championship, he said, keep your mailing list, keep it up to date. Whenever you release, and that's what we're doing in the next couple of weeks, we're making our first few releases. I'm super excited about this. It's the mailing list you go to first. So a marketing tool that I hope you keep polished, up to date, refined, your mailing list. That's where all the magic happens.
And there's one more magic question, and it's for my wife. It's for my wife. It's next door.
All right.
So Michaela from Munich asks, I would be curious to hear how you challenge yourself in various aspects of the craft. How would you enhance gravitas, levity, connection? Do you film yourself at every gig, ask for feedback? So how to enhance gravitas, levity, connection?
I love that. I love that because that's a challenge for me, and it's a continuous journey which will never stop. Yes, I record every gig because I am going to see how I perform, but I'm also going to evaluate a few metrics. Turn down the audio, watch. How was my delivery? How was my physical presence? Put the phone face down, listen. How did I sound? And so forth. Of course, you can transcribe the piece, but I already have a script. But that will tell me my word choice, how good it was. How do I challenge myself? I do that even at the conversational level. I say within this conversation, I want this person to laugh once or twice, right? And that's for this conversation. For another conversation, during this conversation, I want them to have that pregnant, thoughtful silence. I want to hit them so hard that they cannot say anything back. So tiny conversation-based objectives. You can scale them now. In an audience, you're like, I don't want a single person to look at their phone. I want them to be so hooked. If somebody turned off the lights, it would start a riot. What are you doing? You're disturbing us. We need to hear this. You can give nobody should leave the room. I want them to be so locked in that for these 7 minutes, it's impossible for them to leave the room. If you've got humor, ever so often I frequent the comedy club, I've started measuring the lengths of the laugh. Now, I have the haymaker joke, which is the funniest joke that I'm building towards the entire time. And I measure how long the laughter was for that joke. Now, I know a bit of this might be overkill, and it is, but it gives me the sense of there is still more to work towards. In fact, if I could let you in on the one thing I haven't stopped doing since the very beginning is watching the people I aspire to in certain respects of the craft and reminding myself that as long as I'm not there yet, there is still more to discover and learn. So certainly I try to push myself, and it's definitely helped.
Cyril, we have overstayed our welcome. This is the time where we part. Thank you so much for these wonderful insights. There was tons of stuff in there, and I believe the audience feels exactly the same. So
thank you for having me.
World Champion 2022, thanks so much for being with us tonight, and keep on going.
Thank you.
Thank you for having you here.
Wonderful. Wow. There you have it from Armin and from Cyril there. And thanks to our tech team for really supporting Cyril there in that moment. And we're really glad we could get you back on, that you could hear each other and gain the insights that really all of us have a chance. And please note, I've written some notes, absolutely, Armin. So I'm ready for the test tomorrow. But amazing insights. And I'm having goosebumps right now just thinking about what I've just learned. So go back, rewatch this later on tonight or tomorrow, and re-grab some of those insights from that interview. Truly fantastic. And we know that, and we've learned the speaking journey to the paid speaking journey is really built on skills, service, intentional choices, and really, I really love that, those conversational objectives just starting, as Cyril mentioned as well. So really fantastic. So before we go, Reggie is here to remind us that he will be launching his brand new game in our very next episode. He's looking sharp with his golden buttons tonight. Let's hear from Reggie.
Thanks so much, David. It is wonderful to be here. As many of you know, I am a very proud part of this Region 10 team. My big job is to bring the fun. Today, I am disaster-struck. I've lost the golden buttons from my favorite jacket. Please help me find them. They'll pop up randomly on the screen throughout the show. Will you help me find my buttons? We officially launch our first game on January 25th. You need to mark your calendars right now. I am handing the stage back to David to keep the news moving. Stage back to you, David.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Reggie. So join us in our next episode, of course, to learn and to gain his buttons, his golden buttons. He wants them back. So we'll learn more from Reggie then. So let's have a look at now, to finalize tonight, at our weather. So for tonight, I asked ChatGPT 5.2 to give me 8 clubs across Region 10 that have Toastmasters clubs. So let's see how accurate the AI has been tonight. So in Paris, France, now we've got a week's worth of weather. I'm not going to read it all, but on Wednesday, they have 10 degrees and possible rain. Zurich, Switzerland, we have throughout the week. On Saturday, cloudy with some afternoon rain and only 2 degrees. In Munich, so there's a club there, and that's, of course, perhaps where Armin's club is based. On Monday, tomorrow, Armin, you have 5 degrees with snow flurries. So maybe take a picture of the flurries, or do a club meeting out amongst the flurries as well. In Barcelona, Spain, on Wednesday, we have low clouds, 15 degrees, but watch out for the low clouds. In Wrocław, in Poland, we have here on Friday, sun and high clouds. So 5 degrees, high clouds, a little bit different from Spain. In Aalborg, in Denmark, on Wednesday, cloudy with drizzle, 3 degrees. And in Aarhus in Denmark. And I noticed that I think it was Monica who mentioned that there was a wonderful moment meeting Cyril at the District 95 conference in Aarhus in Denmark. So we know that could be accurate. And on Wednesday, they have rain and drizzle. Drizzle is one of my favorite words. I love the way it sounds when I say it. 3 degrees there in Aarhus. And in Stockholm, Sweden, throughout the week, there's a lot of cloud. And then on Friday, rain periods. So 5 degrees there. So fun fact, at the end of the ChatGPT moment, where it gave me this week's worth of forecast across these different 8 areas, it asks me if I wanted to tailor the forecast to specific Toastmasters meeting times. So there's an idea, perhaps, if you'd like to check your weather for your club time and meeting point, ask ChatGPT. So thank you to those who have joined us. The chat and the connection with you all tonight has really lit up, and we're really grateful for your chance to join with us. Our next episode, as you see there, is the 25th of January, 1900 CET. So please help us by liking, sharing, mentioning this comment to your fellow club members, getting people interested. I believe we may also have something out on Easy Speak. So we want more and more people to gain the real value, the connection, and the ideas from tonight's and from all of our episodes. So my name is David Corcoran. It's been a pleasure to be here with you tonight. And I'd say to you all, good night, everyone. Thank you.